So we are logged in. Again, this is on our development server. All the changes have been released to the production server or the live site, but I don't want to be making changes to data on the live data. So we're going to be doing this on staging. I am logged in as the Trial Gardens at UGA, and am going to actually let me close a few windows here to gain a little production time. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is submit trial results because I want to show a few new pieces of data that we have in there. And I want to do it through the online form to start with. If you'll notice now, you can actually filter what you're looking at, not only by the breeder, so I could narrow it down to, say, cicada, and now it's only cicada plants. I could do it by genus, but also by beds. So you can, as a trial garden, you can actually say, you know, just show me the plants that are in bed 1, and then be able to narrow it down and just put in the ratings for those particular plants. And whenever you have a plant, I'm going to go back and take it off and display all beds. There will be, I've actually, it looks like during all my testing, filled in all the A's with particular bed numbers. But if I, go on down the list, it will be blank, and then you can just type in any value for your beds. We also added the ability for you to put a comment at the rating point. So this is a comment not overall for my made-up plant called Abracadabra, but for this particular rating on 423, I can click it in and say, lovely plant, and submit my comment. All right, the comment box over here is more of a general comment that you may have kind of at the conclusion of your trials. Oh, sorry, I just hit the wrong button. So that general comment is there. Something that we introduced kind of midstream last year, in case you weren't aware of it, is as a trial garden, you can't add a new plant to the database from scratch because it actually needs to have been put in by the breeder. However, if you have Abracadabra planted in more than one place, you can click duplicate. Someone's got a squeaky chair. You can click duplicate, and then it will duplicate all that plant information, and then you can say, okay, this one was actually planted in a container versus a hanging basket. All right. And I think that's kind of it right now on this form input. Are there any questions or comments so far?
Timothy, click on one of those down arrows where it says container. So the options are container, in-ground.
Just basket, container,
basket.
and
Okay.
ground. Yep.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And then sun, we just have full sun, part sun, or shade.
Okay.
All right. Then if I head back, and in case you haven't done it, if you decided that you wanted to put a picture of a particular plant, you can do that by clicking the green arrow for upload and grab that file of the picture of the particular plant. So there's the plant picture. Yeah.
That's
Nice.
you, right, Tim?
Yeah, that's right. I said caption for that is tastes like chicken. I'm choking myself up. Sorry. Oh my. All right. So now if I also wanted to do the Excel upload, I can do that. So I can submit my trial results by Excel upload, and I can narrow down the plants that are in the download by a genus breeder, and or only download plants assigned to my trial location. Now this only works sorry, whoever's on
It's
the
not
other line, if they could hit mute
Can you
on their
can
system.
you email me that info?
Um,
Okay, that'd be great. Kind of break it down by days and stuff, so I know.
all right.
I think that's
Thanks,
Diane.
Bye.
All right. Yeah, Diane, was that if you have another call, you might want to hit mute on your system, so we're not hearing what's going on there. But if the trial gardens, if the breeders actually indicate what trial location they are assigning their plants to, then you can narrow down the list to only plants that have been assigned to you. But right now, I'm just going to say, give me everything, and I've been messing around with cicada, just the cicada material. And I'm going to save that to my desktop, click it to open it, and if you'll notice, I'm going to go ahead and expand these column widths a little bit. All right, so you can just type in full sun, part sun, shade in the sun exposure. You can type in basket, container, or ground for the planting location. And you can also then put in the bed, and that's just any text field that you want to put in there. And of course, you can put in the ratings. Oh, I forgot to mention, back on the ratings, we have implemented the ability to indicate that it died and why. So if I go to Submit Trial Results, go to Online Form, in the drop-down, there's no longer a 0. You can't select 0. But you can do X, meaning it died, and either from animal damage, drought, flood, human error, or natural disaster.
Timothy, this is Diane Blazek. I have a question back on the Excel spreadsheet. So can you go back to that?
Sure.
It was great that, like, if you have like the begonia ambassador coral, if you have that planted in a container in a hanging basket, do you do that in the Excel file by duplicating that line, or is it best to do it when you're actually on the database?
That's a great question. The procedure should be to duplicate it within the system first, and then download it, and then you would put it in as one in container and one in basket.
Okay, thanks.
Sure. All right. So, if I just end up saying that these are in part sun, just to do this, I'll do full sun for the ornamental pepper, and I'm going to say it's in a container, and it's in bed 47. And okay, I'm going to make it a 5 rating. And once you export it out of Excel, it adds it. From the system, it adds this funky stuff. But if you said it was just 4/22/2013, you can just type in the date like that. So now I'm going to upload this, and we'll go see that. Actually, let's put it in a 4.
Timothy, another question before you do that. I can't see the headings for each one of these columns right now. So if you can go up there. So where it says exposure, like we have to enter exactly those 3 that are options in the system, right? You can't put partial shade, right? Because there's only 3 options. So those options in H really have to exactly match what's in the system.
I'm glad you said that, and the same in the planting location. And by the way, for those people who don't know Excel, if you want to keep seeing those heading, over here on the right-hand side, you can grab this little bar and drag it down, and it kind of splits the screen. And there's and as long as you're clicked down below that bar, you can move down your spreadsheet, and that header row stays there.
So can you make a drop-down menu or anything on the Excel file to put just the options that are in the system?
No, and you can do it in an Excel file, but not when you're exporting the data from a database and creating the Excel file on the fly based on the data that's there at that particular time.
Okay. So we just need to make sure that everybody knows that in those columns, which would be H and I think are the only two.
Right.
Are the only text you should be using are the exact descriptions that are in the system.
And the nice part, once you start to do it, as soon as you type F, full sun comes up, because that's what I typed before, you know.
Right.
And if I do P, part sun, and shade, so you know, it's fairly quick to be able to do that.
Right.
All right. So what I just did is we're going to add new data for the ornamental pepper. Saved it, closed it. I'm going to go back as a trial garden again to submit my trial results. Go to the Excel, choose my file. Okay, and it tells you all of that was done. And then I'm messing around and put in goofy characters, and it shows you that there's some bad data, so you'd know you'd have to go check that. But if I go to my trial garden center and go to view trial results, and I can go to the capsicum pepper, there it is, where it had a rating of 4.5, and then it's in a container. And it's in bed 47, so it kept my, brought in all the information. All right. So coming back to additional, if you decide that when you do a download now, let's just say that, okay, you've finished all the plants that you want, and you can actually delete rows from the spreadsheet now and re-upload it, and then they won't be in your plant library anymore. So even though you might have downloaded everything from Cicada, but you're only doing 30 of the 1,000 or whatever it is, then you can re-upload, and it will just keep those 30. So the next time you do a download from Cicada, you've just got your 30. And that is it. Just as a back one last thing, if you're saying again the submit trial results, just to show you one more time that now like we did, we added bed 47. I click bed 47, and there's the single plant that's in there. So we've tried to make it easier both via Excel and the online form for the trial gardens to submit the results. And if I go to view actually before I go to the next one, are there any comments or questions from trial gardens at this point?
This is Steve from Minnesota. Will we be able to play with this prior to actually taking any data so we get a good feel for this?
I could. It's a good question. I can put. I can get you a login and a password on the staging server, which is where I am right now, so that you could do that. So
this is all great to me. This is the first time doing this, so I'd like to actually use it or play with it.
Yeah, actually, I forgot, Diane, that we've got a number of new trial garden locations. So welcome to all the new folks.
And so anyone who does want to do that, what you call it, a playground, either reach out to Timothy or myself, and we can get you the username and password for that testing site.
Yep. And what we would want is we want your email address for the login, and then a password of your choice. It doesn't have to be super sophisticated or anything else. But if you can email that to me, then we will get you set up, and I will send you a link to the staging server, and then you can log in with with your email address and password that you send us.
Sounds good.
And we can do the same thing, obviously, for any of the breeders who would like it. Right. So now we've made some a little bit of changes here in terms of the view all trial results. Added in at some point. I can't remember if this was brand new or not, but the actual trial gardens. So you can just narrow it down. You can sort by plant name, or this is new, ratings from high to low. So if you want to see all the high stuff, then there's the highest ratings to start with. And only for the reason it's such a short list right now is because I've got it on a 2013 trial year. I go to 2012, we're going to have a larger list. There we go. All right, now I'm going to get into the breeder upgrades. So I'm going to log out as a trial garden.
Timothy, this is Gene Blythe. Could I ask one question on the uploading from the Excel?
Mm-hmm.
If we use the upload more than once, say we enter data for one date and then we come back and want to do it for a later date, do all the fields in that record get overwritten?
Yes.
Okay.
So that,
likewise, if I make a mistake and want to blank out that record, it will be blank once I upload it again.
right, it does a wholesale replacement. So if you had a 4 for the first rating period score, and then you download the file and you decide it's supposed to be a 3.5 instead of a 4, and you put in 3.5 and you upload it, it's going to be 3.5.
Okay, thanks.
Sure. Okay, so here's what I wanted to do is this was a request from some of the breeders that you can add plants for new trials. So if I want to be able to go in and duplicate my list from previous trial year, I can click here and say, okay, yeah, because most of them are the same, and I can then, and I'm not going to do this because I've already done this actually once or twice, and I keep adding more and more plant records. The 2012 trial year, I could do that, and then it's there as the 2013 list. And so then you'd go into here into your bulk delete of plants, and there's your 213. So if you decided, okay, actually this Abracadabra Cadabra isn't going to be there, and this one isn't, this one isn't. I mean, you could select them all or deselect all, etc. And then you can just continue to go down your list and then delete the checked plants, and then that's and once you do this, you can't go backwards. So now I've just deleted those 3 plants, and now that could be my accurate 2013 list, or I might need to actually add just a couple of records. Again, you could do it from Excel, but depending on the quantity of records that you need to add, you may just want to click on the manual entry and type in genus and go through species, blah blah, and just keep going through and putting in the minimum information you want and create the record. Once the record is created, you can then go ahead and add description information. I didn't click it. There we go. You can click on characteristics. You're saying that this should be a full sun plant, etc. And then here on the trial gardens, this is where you can actually assign that that this genus, species, blah blah is going to be at these various trial gardens. And that way, by doing that, and the trial gardens can just see those plants that have been assigned to them from you. And
I have one question.
Update the record. Yep.
Like in the very beginning, where it was the full list, like from 2012, and if you said, okay, I'm not going to have this one or this one, how do we make sure that they stay in for 2012? Was there a little check mark, like keep them in for 2012 and not for 2013? Because we want to keep those records in there historically.
Correct. When you're in the delete mode, it's for a particular year.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good question. Yep. Okay. And then, so in the download, let me go back into Breeder Center, add plants for new trials via an Excel file. You click on the Excel template. and I think a lot of people did this last year. And then the new one is the trial locations at the end. And by end of day tomorrow, I will have a training document, a document that spells this out. Basically, the trial locations, what you want to do is put in the numeric value for the particular trial location. And what do I mean by that? I mean by when you want to edit an existing plant. So California Polytechnic State University is 29, Cornell is 47, Penn State is 17. So if those were the three, 29, 47, 17. You would have 29, 47, 17. Oh, got to click Enable Editing.
So you just separate them by comma then? For
Correct.
That one. Okay.
Yep. And so I would suggest, what you would want to do, and we'll have this in the document that you can just print it out, and we'll just have, a picture of this so you can just know, and you might highlight the 4 or 5 because I know most people aren't putting them at all these places, so you just highlight the ones that you're using, and it'll be a real quick way to put in those numeric values. And then this is the what we're doing for the upgrades that are ready for you guys to start using now. And then the one that we're going to add on in the next couple of weeks is the ability to actually add much more than 5 ratings, where you can actually will be able to do up to 27 ratings, which is the maximum that we know of anybody does, which is the Dallas plant trials. So from the breeders sponsors, are there any questions or comments? We just wowed them, Diane.
Yeah, I think so. We gave them everything they asked for, I guess.
Yeah. Hello, is anybody out there? All right.
Oh, it sounds good.
Good. Good. And so what we'll do is, if you are interested, I believe we turned off, if you're interested in getting to the staging server to mess around a little bit before you start doing it on the live site, again, just send me an email. It's Timothy at clarity-connect.com. I hope most of you have it, but if not, I'm going to type it here and I'll make it real big in a minute. Just send that to me. If you want to CC Diane, that would be fine. And just do that, and we'll get you set up immediately.
And then what about the live site? Can they work on that now, starting today?
Yep,
Okay.
Absolutely. And, we've beat on this pretty good from the Clarity side. I don't doubt that there's going to be some little hiccups with it. So as soon as you do, please shoot us an email or give us a call. And if you send an email, please, please, please be as specific as you can. I was using the Excel upload. I was doing this. Here's the Excel file attached. Here's what happened. Because I forgot to renew my mind reading. And so the more details you can get us into what caused the problem, the faster we'll be able to diagnose it and fix it. All right. Well, I think we're done here then, if there aren't any other questions or comments.
Oh, this is Dave from Colorado State University. I was just wondering, when's the final list for the trial entries to be put up there? I think I mentioned it the last call, but I can't remember when the final list is supposed to be up there.
We talked about April 1st, but that was with spring trials, and actually we didn't have 100% of the new development work done. So
Okay.
I think it's at this point it's pretty straightforward, and the breeders there's not really the only change for the breeders is adding the trial gardens that they're putting their plants into at that level. So the rest of the system is the same as last year for the breeders. So I can't speak for them, but hopefully they can get that in quickly. Is anybody? It's the 23rd of April now. Is there any reason by May 15th breeders don't think they can get their plants in?
No, that should be doable on my end.
Okay.
And I think what I could do is communicate with all the breeders and ask them to email me when they've uploaded everything. That way it would be nice to just send out a quick email to all the trial gardens saying it's all uploaded. You can start to use it now.
Yeah. And one of the things, don't forget, with as the breeder adding plants for new trials, remember that you can, if proven winners as an example, if a lot of what you had last year is in there again this year, you can just click that duplicate and then add manually the new ones and delete the ones that you need. So we try to make that piece fast too. Okay. Well, a happy Tuesday afternoon to everybody, and we're here if you need us, and shoot us that email, and I'll get you straight away your links to the development site after we activate your login and password.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Looks good.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.